what's going on here is people are always saying that Israel's the cause of high gas prices. Ron Paul, for instance. So, let's debunk that one. Or that Israel is not an asset, it's a liability. So let's debunk that one.
How?
Okay? Very simple. What we first do is we first show just where the countries are. Meaning you got Egypt here, Jordan here, Syria in red, and Lebanon. And Lebanon is, of course, occupied by the Hezbollah, which is essentially Iran.
Where's the West Bank on there?
West Bank is right over here.
Okay, so if the proposed Palestinian state were to be enacted, Israel would lose that land.
Right.
Who would have it?
The Hezbollah / Iran / Hamas would have this, and Israel would be polished off pronto. So let's really talk about what.
How would they be polished off? Just by.
Because everything we talked about up here, the Katyusha rockets, you name it.
They would attack. You're saying they would attack
Right.
Israel. The peace would not. The peace would just be on paper, not in reality.
Right.
Terrorist
Okay.
groups would be attacking from a closer.
Let's look at the map and what would happen if, God forbid, Israel were kaput.
What do you mean? If Israel were
If Israel were finished, it's not whether or not the West Bank.
If Israel were defeated.
If Israel were defeated
and became a Palestinian state.
well, let's not jump, because do you have an independent Lebanon? No. Would you have an independent Palestinian state if Israel were to be destroyed? No. What you're going to have? You're going to have a little bit of a bigger Syria / Hezbollah, and you're going to have a little bit of a bigger Egypt. The whole point is you're never going to have an independent Palestinian state. There's never been an independent Palestinian state before. There was never a viable independent Palestinian state ever. You're going to have either an Ottoman Empire, or you're going to have a Hezbollah Empire, or you're going to have an Iranian Empire, or you're going to have an Egypt Empire. It was never a but Israel is destroyed. Now this makes the anti-Semites happy, right? Because Israel being destroyed, they all promise you lower gas prices.
What would happen?
Well, let's check out what would happen. First of all, fact number one. Israel has been protecting Jordan from encroachment from Syria for only about 60 years. So if Israel's destroyed, Jordan doesn't have its protector anymore. Who's going to protect King Hussein Abdullah of Jordan if Israel's not there? Answer.
What would happen?
Nobody. What would happen is Jordan would get finished.
Point.
It would either be encroached on in this pane here.
Pick one.
This one here. It would be either encroached on by Egypt, encroached on by Syria, or encroached on by a combination of one or the other. So what happens here? Well, overnight, Egypt, that has a population of 80 million people, 80 million people with a per capita income of $4,000 a person, and or Hezbollah / Syria, all of a sudden just happen to have a contiguous land border with Saudi Arabia that they never had before.
Point to it.
This is Saudi Arabia.
Uh-huh.
So right now, Egypt does not have a contiguous land border with Saudi Arabia. Syria does not have a contiguous land border with Saudi Arabia.
Oh, what are you saying? This is Jordan now.
Right. This is Jordan now. So if Syria encroaches,
Jordan would be invaded by
Egypt and or Saudi Arabia and or Syria.
Okay.
/ Hezbollah.
Okay.
So you have
Egypt would invade Jordan and be right next.
Or the Muslim Brotherhood would take on, not invade. Mm-hmm. All you'd have to have is the Muslim Brotherhood take over Jordan.
Okay.
And form one big Muslim Brotherhood with Egypt.
Okay.
And similar thing with Syria. And look what you got. All of a sudden, you got 80 million starving Egyptians with control of the Suez Canal. 80 million people.
A huge army.
Huge army. Control the Suez Canal. Saudi Arabia is finished.
Saudi's oil fields.
Saudi's oil fields get attacked by Egypt. They get attacked by Syria, and they get attacked by Iran. That's over in the Iraq area. The whole point is, does anyone see lower gas prices from this? No.
What would happen to gas prices?
You have gas prices that go up to the sky. You'd have gas prices $500 a barrel, $1,000 a barrel. There wouldn't be stability. There would be instability in the Middle East.
And what would that instability do?
It would bring absolute havoc to the United States.
And how about the global economy?
It would knock the global economy out, period. Because you'd have gas prices at $500 a barrel, $1,000 a barrel, instead of $100 a barrel. So what this does is it disproves the lie that Israel is the cause of instability in the Middle East, and in fact shows that Israel is the cause of stability in the Middle East. Israel isn't the cause of high gas prices. Israel is the cause of low gas prices.
And if Israel were to be jeopardized through a Palestinian state?
If Israel were to be jeopardized and at risk to a Palestinian state, it would be the exact opposite of stability and would cause grave harm to the United States' strategic posture instead of...
And the global economy?
And the global economy, exactly.
In other words, Israel is
the very anchor of the world's stability.
It's like that Milton Bradley game, right, where everything's under spring tension and you pull out one key.
If you pull out that one key, the whole thing's going to go kaflooey.
Was that the name of the game?
No, I don't remember what the name of the game is.
Okay.
But the point is, the Professor Waltz of the world are lying. The generals who say Israel's a strategic liability haven't looked at the map to figure out what would happen to the United States' strategic posture if Israel were to be destroyed.
They haven't played Risk.
They haven't played Risk
to its end game.
To its end game with Israel, exactly. This is a junior or PhD level Risk game in real life.
Game of Risk. Also,
Game of Risk.
Isn't that a Milton Bradley game too?
Yes, I think so.
So, what's the bottom line?
Bottom line is Israel is the strategic linchpin asset of the United States.
Keeping the global economy stable?
Keeping the global economy stable and anchored and on an even keel. Without that linchpin, the United States is finished.
And what is the trap, the spring that triggers everything?
The West Bank Palestinian state. If the Palestinians get that West Bank state, they can annihilate Israel. And then the whole world will go kaflooey.
The whole Arab world would attack Israel through that Palestinian state.
Not just through the Palestinian state. They'd attack through Hezbollah. They'd attack through Syria. And they'd attack through Gaza.
All around.
All around.
And so we must maintain, you're saying, maintain the stasis that exists today.
Exactly. Maintain the status quo that exists today, or Israel will be annihilated.
And the global economy will
be jeopardized.
Thrown into turmoil?
Absolutely.
Where can people find out more about your perspectives?
www.marklangfan.com.